Welcome to Jyotish Analysis and Prediction. Today, once more, I am presenting one Prashna chart analysis. In last episode, actually in the last video, I discussed about one Prashna chart, and there I discussed whether one person would get a job or not, the possibility of getting a job. And this is the next one. One of our viewers asked whether the relative of the person would get any job immediately or not, whether any job prospect is there or not. Actually, that person wants to change job because he is not satisfied with his present job, so he wants to change, but very unsure whether he would get the job or not. And that is why one person is asking, because she is asking about her relative, about her husband actually, whether her husband would get any job, will get any job immediately or not. Is there any prospect of getting a new job or not? How much prospect is there? So I assured that I would discuss about possibility of getting a job or not. Actually, whether there is any possibility of getting any job or not, I'll have to see by chart analysis. I told yesterday, and accordingly I am analyzing this chart. This is a Prashna chart, and this Prashna chart is created according to the time and date, on which date actually she asked me this question, and the time also accurate. Only according to that time and date I made this chart, and this is the chart. Accordingly, I will discuss whether there is any possibility of getting any job or not. So here you see, since the person asking the question about her husband, so we have to see the possibility of getting job for her husband, not for her actually. So accordingly we'll have to decide which house is prime house here. The house will be 7th house. The house in question will be the 7th house, because she is asking for her husband, not about herself. So we'll have to concentrate on the 7th house of this chart. The 7th house is this one, number 1, and the ascendant is actually 7. Number 7 is the ascendant. That means the person who asked me the question about her husband, naturally the husband's house will be the 7th house of that chart. That means the number 1, sign number 1, that is Aries sign, is Prashna charts 7th house, and we have to analyze this chart on basis of this number 1, that is this house only, that is 7th house only. So the 7th house, where is the moon? Actually, you have to see whether the question asked is serious question or genuine question or not. Yes, definitely, because moon is sitting in the 8th house from the ascendant, so it shows that person is very much tense about something. Okay, and actually moon is the significator of mind, so that means the person's mind is very much um, anxious about something actually, maybe some problem actually. It shows moon is in the 8th house, means the person concerned, the person who asked me the question, is very much anxious about something. And if we see it from the 7th house, then moon is in the 2nd house, 8th house of the Prashna chart means 2nd house of 7th house. So regarding financial condition of her husband, now 2nd house is also to a great extent dependent, also important for job, profession, financial status, everything. So the question is quite genuine. It is not a wrong question. And we have to see further whether there is any opportunity of getting new job or not. So this is the KP chart actually. See, this is Rashi chart and this is KP chart. If we go to the KP chart, actually KP chart shows the real position of planets. In KP chart also Moon and Mars, two are sitting together in the 8th house, and Mars is actually 2nd house of the Prashna chart, that is sitting in the 8th house. That means the person is very much anxious about financial condition, family problems, etc. Now if we see from here, the 10th house of 7th house is actually the 4th house of the ascendant, and there is Saturn. Here it is. Saturn is sitting in the 10th house, and Moon is sitting in the 2nd house of the 7th house, and Mars is also sitting in the 2nd house of 7th house. Now see, that means the person is definitely engaged in some profession, because Saturn is sitting in the 4th house, that means in the 10th house of 7th house. So he is definitely engaged in some profession, and Moon is sitting in the 2nd house. Moon is in the trine, that is in the 5th house from Saturn. So there is an effect of Saturn and Mars on Moon. So Mars is actually the 7th house lord as well as 8th house lord of 7th house, that is sitting in the 2nd house with Moon. That means Moon is very much disturbed. That is, the person, the husband of the person, is also very much tense about his financial condition, family, and also regarding his profession. And you see, the Mercury is the 6th house lord, that is the planet, the owner of 6th house of her husband is Mercury, and that is sitting in the 6th house from the ascendant, or 12th house from 7th house. So that also shows a kind of lack of confidence, lack of job security, because Mercury is the 6th house lord from 7th house, and that is sitting in the 12th house of the 7th house, and that is also in sign of debilitation with Jupiter and Sun. That means the person, that is the person who asked me the question, her husband's job is really in some trouble. I think there is some problem regarding his job because the Lord of 6th house of the 7th house is in the 12th house of 7th house. 12th house is Dusthan, and Mercury is also debilitated in the 12th house. That means, and there is an aspect of Saturn also on 12th house. If we see the Rashi chart, then also it will be much clearer. Yes, in Rashi chart also Mercury is sitting in the 12th house of the 7th house, but Saturn is sitting in the 11th house. But actual effect will be, according to the KP chart, Saturn is sitting in the 10th house and Mercury is sitting in the 12th house from 7th house. So from this we can see that definitely the person's husband is actually in some problem due to his job, because the Lord of the 6th house, that is Lord of job, is sitting in the 12th house. 12th house is a malefic house, so Mercury is not really comfortable there. That means there is some unrest, insecurity regarding job. So one thing has been clear, that the person is really suffering due to some lack of security. He is very much unsure whether his job will continue, present job will continue or not. He is not that satisfied actually. Moon is sitting in the second house. That means the person's mind is also little disturbed, because there is an effect of Saturn on the moon, and Mars is also conjunct with moon, so mind is very much disturbed due to some tension. So now we'll have to see, directly we'll go to the ruling planet of that particular day, because in case of Prashna chart, ruling planet decides everything. Accordingly, we have to see whether any possibility of getting any job there or not, and before that we definitely have to see the job prospect from cusps, whether job is at all promised or not, that is also to be seen. Now job change is another point. Job change means 5th house and 9th house. So if the 6th house sublord and 10th house sublord signify 5th house and 9th house respectively, that will ensure there is a job change. And if 6th house sublord also signify 2nd house or 6th house or 10th house or 11th house, at the same time 10th house sublord also signify 2 or 6 or 10 or 11, any one of these houses, then there is a chance of getting a new job also. Now let's check whether there is any chance of getting any job or not. See, the 6th house sublord is moon and 10th house sublord is Venus. These two are very vital planets. One is 6th house sublord, that is moon, another is 10th house sublord, that is Venus. Now we'll have to see the signification of those planets. What does moon say? Moon is showing 2, 7, 8 and 10. See, moon is showing 8th house. 8th house means second house of the 7th house. So that means there is some connection of getting a job. Though moon is not showing directly 6th house involvement, 6th house means 12th house actually. 12th house of the ascendant means 6th house of the 7th house. So moon is not anyway showing 6th house signification for her husband, but it is definitely showing second house signification. Second house means 8th house actually. 8th house is actually the second house of 7th house. So 7th house, the second house of 7th house is actually the 8th house of the ascendant. Since 8 is here, that means moon is definitely showing some kind of job connection definitely. Now 10th house sublord is Venus, and Venus is also showing 8th house connection. That means it is also showing something related to profession, because either 2 or 6 or 10, these prime houses should be signified by 10th house sublord and also 6th house sublord. Then only we can say there is possibility of getting a job. Possibility. Now we'll have to check through the ruling planets whether there is any real chance of getting job immediately or not. But some chance of getting a job, if he tries, is definitely there, but we cannot assure right now. We have to see further. So ultimately we can conclude whether he will get any job or not. So we'll directly go to ruling planets. So in the ruling planets, you see Rahu is the ruling planet. Now Rahu is not taken as ruling planet generally, but Rahu should be considered as the natural planet here, because Rahu is always retrograde, and you know retrograde planets are not at all included as ruling planets. But here Rahu and Ketu are actually exceptional because they are always retrograde, so they should be included as normal planets. So Rahu is repeated here 3 times. So Rahu is definitely dominating. And next important ruling planet is Venus. After that is coming Mars and Moon. So 3 ruling planets actually, Rahu, Mars and Moon. So we have to see the significations of these 3 planets first. See, Rahu is showing 1 and 7. So there is no job connection according to the ruling planet Rahu. Another thing is Venus. Venus as the ruling planet indicating 1, 7, 8. This is also involving the 8th house, that is second house of the 7th house. That means second house. 2 is involved. So that means there is some chance of getting a job offer or some connection actually, not that strong actually, but there is a job connection definitely. Another thing you see, another ruling planet is Mars, that is showing 278. It is also showing 8th house, that means it is also showing some second house involvement, second house of the 7th house. So this way we can identify whether there is any chance of getting any job or not. So Rahu is not showing any kind of involvement in 2, 6, 10, 11 kind of connections, and Venus is showing only one third level signification, that is 8th house, and also Mars, that is also showing 8th house involvement. Now we'll have to see which planet is tenanted and which is not tenanted. Venus is untenanted, and Moon, Sun also are untenanted. Jupiter is also untenanted. Now, according to the ruling planets, we have to consider 3 planets here, not all. One is Venus, another is Mars, and another is Moon, and Rahu definitely. But we have seen that Rahu is not showing any kind of 6th house involvement. According to the 7th house, it will be 12th house involvement. So since 12th house is not involved in Rahu, or there could be 4th house involvement also, that means 10th house of the 7th house. So there is no signification of job in Rahu. In case of Venus, there is signification of 8th house. 8th house means actually the second house of 7th house. Now we'll have to see what are the sublords. Since Venus is actually 10th house sublord, and Moon is 6th house sublord, and they are untenanted, that means there is a strong chance of job offers if the person tries. That means if her husband tries seriously and with full efforts, then there is a chance of getting job. And what is the 9th house involvement and 5th house involvement? 5th house of 7th house means 11th house, but we don't find any 11th house involvement anywhere. Yes, for Sun there is an 11th house, 4th level 11th house signification, but Sun is not ruling planet, so it will not be acceptable. Nowhere else 5th house is involved. 5th house of 7th house, so 5th house is not involved. Another thing is 9th house involvement is there or not. That means 3rd house of the ascendant. Yes, there is an involvement 3rd house in Jupiter, but Jupiter is not any ruling planet, so that also will not be acceptable. So job change is not actually indicated here. Job change is not indicated. So even if there is a strong job connection, but still job change is not involved. So according to me, you should not go for any job change right now. Time is not that favorable actually. And So there is no need of trying for any job change right now. Maybe after 2 months or 3 months, again, if he tries for any job, and that time he wants to know whether there is any job change, there is any prospect of job change or not. That time this answer may be in his favor. But this time the answer is not favorable. That means there is no job change right now. Because ninth house and fifth house has to be involved. Unless you leave your present job, you cannot get a new job because you are already working somewhere. That means you have to leave your job first. And 12th house of 6th house is actually the house of negation. Here, house of negation will be 11th house of the ascendant, and also 9th house will be the third house of the ascendant. Since both these houses are not involved in any of the ruling planets, so there is no chance of job change right now. This is clear. So no further to see anything else, because we have got the answer whether he should try for any new job or not. And if she wants to know the same question within 1 or 2 days, if she wants to know same question answer from any other astrologer through Prashna chart, then she will not get the right answer. That time she may get wrong answer. So she should not really ask any other astrologer immediately about new job prospects, because this kind of questions should not be asked so frequently. Then the validity of this type of question answers becomes useless, and Prashna chart will start giving wrong answers. So whenever you will ask the question, you should be very genuine, and you should ask the question with full confidence and full conviction, with full emotion. There should be genuineness in the question. Then only question answer will be right. Question answer will be okay. So the person should not again try to know whether or not her husband will get any job or not. Okay, she will not get the right answer immediately, because whatever answer I should give according to the Prashna chart, I have already given that. Now she should wait at least for 2 to 3 months. Then again she can ask any other astrologer regarding job prospects. That time, if that person also verifies through Prashna chart analysis whether or not he will get any job or not, then he will give right answer. At least 2 to 3 months should be there between two questions. Otherwise, the genuineness of the question, the seriousness of question will be invalid, will be useless, and ultimately the answers which will be available will be wrong answers. So that's all for today. I hope you liked this video. This is absolutely new kind of video. I am not going to check which time he or that person will get a job, because no question of seeing further, analyzing further, because we have already got the answer. There is no promise of change right now, so there is no question of seeing or finding the exact time, which time he will get the job. Hope you liked this video, and please share this video to your friends. And thanks once more for watching this video so patiently with so much interest. Once more, I request you to subscribe to this channel, this new channel, so that this channel grows further, faster, and that will be for everyone's interest, because this is a very unique kind of channel where Prashna chart analysis, birth chart analysis, genuine birth chart analysis, and also current topics are discussed. Thank you very much. Good night.